County welcome class. This is your Unit 5 exam review. This is made for Mr. Sawyer's and Mr. Charles's class. So we're going to go ahead and look at a couple of questions off the exam. We would work them. So if you want to go ahead and take notes, these will be exact questions off your exam. So heads up, pay attention. Here we go. Question, what is the value of this expression? Well, when we look at this, we're going to remember order of operations. Everybody remembers the order of operations. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, add and subtract. So if we take a look at this, we have parentheses, so let's go ahead and work those first. So I'm going to bring down my numbers, 45 plus 5. I'm going to work on parentheses. 2 plus 7 is 9. And I'm going to bring down my plus 4. All right, so now we have parentheses, but there's nothing really to do with parentheses. And remember, if there's nothing between the number and the parentheses, that means multiplication. So there's no exponents, so we're going to move on to multiplication. So we're going to bring down our 45 again. Now we're going to distribute the 5 times the 9, so we get 45, and we're going to bring down our 4. So now we just have a simple addition, 45 plus 45 plus 4. Well, I know that 45 plus 45 is 90. And if I add 4 to that, I'm going to equal 94. And that's my answer. Remember, when we're doing multiplication and division, you do it left to right. We didn't have any division on this problem, so we just do multiplication. And again, add and subtract, you're going to do it left to right. So we didn't have any subtraction in this case either, so we just do the addition. All right, next question. The school band boosters are having a banquet to celebrate winning their regional contest. They have several hexagonal tables. Each side of the table seats one person. The table needs to be arranged in a straight line with one side touching the other, as is the picture here. How many hexagonal tables in will be needed to seat 50 band boosters? Well, if we just have one table, we're going to count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to start our table like we always do. So we have position 1. Our first table, it's going to seat 6 people. So now we're going to add a table. So we're going to add, this is table 1, we're going to add table 2. So now we're going to count the amount of seats. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can't count that one because there's a table set next to it. So we're going to go on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the second table, we can see 10 people. So now we're going to go to the third table. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 seats. So the third table equals 14 seats. And if you take a look, now we have a sequence of numbers. So the difference between 6 and 10 is 4. The difference between 10 and 14 is 4. So, if you remember from class, the pattern creates a rule. So if my pattern is 4 and I have repeated addition, that's the same thing as multiplication. So my pattern is 4. My rule or my process is 4 times the first table. So 4 times 1 is 4. And then I need to adjust it to equal 6. So I'm going to add 2. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 gives me 6. So we're going to bring it down to the second table. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Okay, my rule is still working. Let's try it one more time. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. But it doesn't ask us for the rule. It asks us how many hexagonal tables will we need to see 50 band boosters. Well, so we need this to equal 50, and we're looking for our number of tables in. So we do have a rule. Our rule is 4n plus 2. So if you remember from yesterday and today in class, we were using equations. Well, we're going to use an equation on this one. And I'm going to show you. So I'm going to bring it down here. So 4n plus 2, and we want that to equal 50. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move the 2 to this side, so we need to subtract 2 from both sides. So we get 4n equals, because the 2's cancel out, 50 minus 2 is 48. So now we have 4 tables, or n will equal 48. But we need to know how much 1n is. So we're going to divide both sides by 4, because the 4 is multiplied by the n. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we'll multiply both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I have n left here. And now 48 divided by 4. Well, we can go ahead and divide that real quick. 4 goes into 4 one time. 0, bring down my 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times. So in order for me to see 50 people using my rule for my pattern, I need 12 tables. There are other ways to do this, but this is one of the easiest ways to do it. Again, if I need to see 50 people, and I use my rule, 4n plus 2, I need to find out what will make that equation equal on both sides. So what number do I need to use for n in order to make it equal 50? Well, 4 times 12 we found out is 48, plus 2 is indeed 50. So I need 12 tables. Moving on to the next question. Which problem situation could be solved with this equation? Remember, an equation has an equal sign. An expression does not. Remember, an equation has an equal sign. And an expression, does not. So let's take a look at it. S equals 2 times, parentheses, 2t plus 12. So we're going to try to find out which problem situation could be solved with this equation. Let's take a look at them. We'll start with A. What is S, the number of inches in t feet? Well, let's take a look at that. S is on the outside, okay? We're looking for that. It's the number of inches in t feet. Well, if we know that there's 12 inches in a foot, then we would multiply t times 12 to find out the number of inches in t feet. I don't see anything up there that says 12 times t. So A, stop the answer. Let's look at B. What is S? The perimeter of a rectangle with the width 2t and length of 12. Well, if you take a look, a rectangle has 2 widths and 2 lengths. So if S equals the perimeter of a rectangle with the width of 2t and the length of 12, that means if the width equals 2t and the length equals 12, and we're looking for a perimeter, and that's the distance all the way around, then we know that we would have to take 2t twice and 12 twice. So let's look at our equation. S equals 2 times 2t plus 12. Well, let's clean this up a little bit. So this is 4t plus 24. Okay, so if we distribute the 2 in our equation, we get 4t plus 24 equals s. Well, if you look over here, that's the same thing we have here. So B could be the answer, but we need to look at C. What is S? The area of a triangle with height T and base 12. If everybody should know that the area of a triangle equals 1/2 of its base times its height. Well, let's take a look. The height is T, and the base is 12. I apologize, my marker's a little off. So 1/2 times 12t. That doesn't look like our original equation up here. So we're going to mark out C. We need to check D too. What is S? The area of a rectangle with width 2t and length 12. Well, if you remember, the area of a rectangle is length times width. If my length is 12 and my width is 2t, if I look back at my original equation, I don't have anything that has 12 times 2t. I have 12 plus 2t. So therefore, D is the incorrect answer. So like we found out earlier, B is the correct answer. Moving on. All right. Which sequence follows the rule 5n minus 3, where n represents a position, a term is in the sequence? Well, we're going to set us up our chart again, and we're going to say our position 1, 2, and 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in position number into the rule for n. So 5 times 1 is 5, minus 3 is 2. So now we need to plug in 2. 5 times 2 minus 3, that will equal 2. Sorry. 5 times 2 is 10, minus 3 is 7. So it looks like the only answer that we have here that starts with 2 and 7 is B, but let's do one more just to make sure. So 5 times 3 minus 3 equals 15 minus 3 is 12. So if you look over here, 2, 7, 12, it looks like my rule is matching my pattern. So that concludes the video review for your exam number 5. Be sure to remember these questions. They will be on your exam tomorrow. If you have any questions about them, feel free to email either Ms. Charles or I anytime before the exam, and we will get back with you. Again, study hard, good luck, and giggle.